What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're giving reacting to the Barcelona news over the past week or so. Lads, there is so much news to cover. We're talking about every single thing under the sun you can think of, and not the worst part is Joan Laporta does a huge interview yesterday as well. I'm going to be covering the whole interview, and we're going to talk about a lot of things. Of course, the return of Lionel Messi. We have some quotes about that and reports. You know, we want to go for a center back. Aymeric, Laporte, Inigo Martinez, Bernardo Silva, Joao Cancelo, Vitor Roque. We have some departure updates as well. Franck Kessie, Ferran Torres, Samuel Umtiti. Huge renewal updates on Busquets. Talk about the feud between, of course, Javier Tebas and Joan Laporta. Super League resurgence. And we have a big injury update on Ousmane Dembele, Pedri, and also Robert Lewandowski. So much news. Let's not waste any time. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already. And let's get into it. Let's start off by discussing Joan Laporta's interview that was conducted yesterday with the media outlet La Vanguardia. This is one of the outlets, of course, in Spain, and Joan Laporta spoke to the media yesterday, giving all the updates around Barcelona. Now, first, he was asked about Xavi's renewal. Of course, Xavi's contract expires, I believe, in 2026. A renewal at this point is expected. Laporta said, "We have already considered it. Even if he doesn't win the league, he deserves this." He says that first we have to win the league. He does not ask for crazy things, and I understand the situation of the club. Now, when this quote came out from Laporta in the media, Xavi then responded in the media as well via eSport 3, and he basically said, "Look, I want to renew, but I want to win titles first. If we don't win the league, I am not renewing. The moment I don't feel happy doing this job, I'm not going to be doing it anymore." He said that so far his job is 75% joy and 25% stressful. He also had some of the worst days of his life were as a Barcelona coach as well, and that he wants to sign his contract. He's very happy. Money does not matter to him, and he came out with all these quotes in the media as well. So Xavi fully confident of renewing his contract as well, pending, of course, titles lifted by the end of the season. Let's now continue with Joan Laporta's interview. He's asked about Busquets' renewals and that Busquets' contract ends, and he's a fundamental person in the dressing room. Xavi wants him to continue, and he's thinking about what to do. He has other important offers to continue his career to another level, but we already knew. We have not made a firm offer to him yet, but we will make it shortly. We want him to continue for another year. With Busquets, we have not outlined the offer, but we will propose another year. He's a reference in the world of football, and he has important offers. So the club are planning on offering a 1-year contract renewal to the captain. He also talked about the defense, and that since Dani Alves, Puyol, Piqué, Abidal, we haven't had a defense like the one that we have today. It makes us win games. If we had a defensive, we didn't have our defensive injuries, we would still be in the Champions League, in my opinion. On new signings, we have exceeded currently the salary limit, and that makes it very difficult. But when I hear that we can't sign, I laugh. He then continues on saying that Barcelona will surely have to sign a right back this summer and also a central defender. As long as this case, there's some good opportunities in the market. Surely a striker will arrive, but someone will have to leave. Big updates there. Then about the loan players returning, and that watch Osasuna and Celta for Abdi. The coaching staff really like Abdi and Nico as well. So other loanee players like Longlet, Umtiti, and Des, they could be coming to get chopped off the books for sure. Then he's asked about the refereeing case, of course, and I made it clear that Barcelona has never bought referees, nor has the intention of buying referees. Absolutely never. The forcefulness of the fact contracts to those who are changed the stories. We're doing well now, and now this is nothing accidental. So Laporta is saying, look, this is coming out now because we're winning games. Of course, we already knew that. They're carrying out a campaign to harm the interests of the club. It is a campaign aimed to controlling the clubs. La Liga have not accepted Barcelona's rejection of the CVC deal, which forces to sell TV rights for 50 years, and we found better solutions. So again, with that relationship being very, very bad between Tebas and Laporta, Barcelona going to have some hindrance from La Liga. Now, on the refereeing case, there have been some big advancements, and this is coming in from El Pas, and they're saying that the prosecution office will charge Barcelona, just Maria Bartomeu's president, but not the other presidents, and Enrique Negreira for the alleged corruption. Punishment can exceed imprisonment for individuals from 6 months to up to 4 years, and payment of a fine as well. So the prosecution office is taking this case seriously, and Laporta again confirms that they will have a press conference outlining everything once, of course, they have everything. He then asked about the Super League, and the Super League thing doesn't help either, but we want to have a very attractive competition without destroying the league. We want to be there in harmony as well with the Champions League, but the clubs will govern it. So again, he wants a league that's controlled by the clubs and not by a body government. We are starting to do well. We have saved the club's financial situation, and we continue to leave with the levers. when they make a feasible plan. What I'm seeing is that there's only negative news and articles, and I'm not going to talk about them. The members of Barcelona will always be the members of this club as long as I am the president. So again, he's not going to sell us or anything like that or disrupt the socio membership strategy that we currently have at the club. On upcoming levers, and I'm not considering more levers because La Liga have issued circulars that are operations that give us financial fair play and can no longer be done. We can only operate on assets that do not generate recurring assets. So economic levers will not help us for FFP or fair play margin in La Liga in any way, shape, or form anymore. It'll benefit us personally, but not for the reason why we're executing it to register players and make new signings. On the wage bill of FFP, said that we are exceeding by 200 million euros, which is inherited from the previous board, which had the approval of La Liga. They left Barcelona with the wage bill exceeding by 300 million euros. La Liga allowed it to happen. We arrived and they enforced much stricter rules. So again, all because of the previous management. The situation should be redirected. They, La Liga, only do things that we can't sign. This winter we have not signed anyone despite the fact that we had a small margin. We are doing a great job, but we still need to reach the normal 1-1 rule. I think right now we're in the one quarter rule or some crap like that. Then asked about the meeting that he had with Jorge Messi, of course the father of Leo Messi, said that we have met each other. We congratulated him on Argentina winning the World Cup. We are talking about a tribute to Leo, who has extraordinary affection for Barcelona. I don't want to speak on his future. I have respect for the player and PSG as well. Then he's asked about Messi's exit from Barcelona, saying I had to make that decision. The club is above everyone. We didn't have financial fair play. I have sad feelings about it. I had to choose and I chose the club. In Paris, we exchanged glances. Of course, Paris referring to the best awards. He's saying that, oh, they made eye contact and nothing went about that. And then he was asked what it means to be president, saying that being president of Barcelona continues to be a great honor and responsibility. When we arrive with the objective of recovering the economic and joy to Barcelona fans, we are sitting at attendance records. There's a lot of work ahead of us. Then as for Javier Tebas, he makes comments that must be part of a confidential between clubs. In the past, he's also shown certain obsession against Barcelona. I hope the relationship between Barcelona and La Liga improves. Being at odds does not benefit anyone. If he, Tebas, who is consistently putting us against obstacles, he also makes comments that permit the confidentiality. So when we're linked with players and Tebas says, oh, Barcelona can sign Lewandowski if they do this. And then Laporte is like, you were in negotiations, you're rooting that trust, and then now everyone knows we want Lewandowski, increases the price, influx the market, blah, blah, blah. So Javier Tebas only talks about Barcelona. When they ask about a Real Madrid player, that, oh, they can do what they want, we'll wait and see. Oh, Barcelona wants to sign Koundé. Yep, they gotta do this. They gotta activate this lever, and then they can sign him. So, of course, hinders Barcelona. And finally, Laporte was asked about Ansu Fati's current situation. Said that he's improving. He needs to have the confidence and regain his spark. Earlier, every time he kicked the ball, it was a goal. So overall, this interview, Laporta outlines FFP, talks about Messi's possible return, Busquets renewal, Xavi renewal, and that relationship between La Liga and Barcelona, more specifically Javier Tebas and Laporta, and also the resurge of the of the Super League. But the main thing I take from this interview is, firstly, he did meet with Messi's father, which I think is very, very important. And secondly, he said that Barcelona want a right back, a center back, and a striker. So let's now take a look at who we've been linked with over the past week. Let's now discuss some of the transfer news surrounding Barcelona over the past week. Firstly, we have to talk about the center back market, where Barcelona have been making some movements over the past few days. Firstly, a new target has emerged in the center back department, and that is Aymeric Laporte. It first broke from Fourth Mercado. They came out saying that Aymeric Laporte is ready to leave Man City this summer. He has been linked with Barcelona as a PK replacement. And then we got the concrete report from Barcelona from Fernando Polo from Deportivo. He came out saying that Aymeric Laporte wants to leave Man City and prioritizes joining Barcelona. Barcelona and Laporte have already initialized contact and maintained contacts in which both parties to make a move has been made clear, which I think is also very huge. Fabrizio Romano has also confirmed this, saying that Laporte wants to leave Man City and Barcelona are interested. Now, with the current center backs we do have, of course, we have Christensen, Araujo, Eric Garcia, Koundé, and Eric Garcia. We have 5 center backs, but of course, Koundé is playing mainly at right back, so that leaves us with 4. For Laporte to come in for me, the sale of Eric Garcia or the departure of Eric Garcia would be needed first and foremost. That way you have the 4 center backs, which I think would be absolutely disgusting. Laporte, Christensen, Araujo, Koundé. 4 center backs, elite, fantastic. My main issue is the price. How much does Man City want for Laporte? They want 50, 60, that's the case, walk away. If they want 20, 30, along with a buy option, I think the club will look at it for sure. And there's more reasons from the price than why Barcelona want Laporte, coming from Deportivo. Reason why Barcelona want Aymeric Laporte. He's left-footed, ability with the ball. Barcelona have been following him since a decade, since his Athletic Bilbao days, when he had that release clause that Man City have since activated a few years ago. Knows the Liga well and will adapt easily, and he also has the experience in the Premier League. Again, for me, for Laporte, it's all about the price. Would I take him as, free agent, or just, where the price is not really a factor? Absolutely. I think he's a fantastic center back. He can also play at left back as well. Great addition. Spanish, knows the language. I think this is the no-brainer. My issue is when you have, a center back like Ivan Indica, who's a free agent and is 6-7 years younger than Laporte. That's where the question come aroused. Now, the main issue, of course, is that we have been linked with a center back to come in as that PK replacement for about 6 months now, and that main name has been Inigo Martinez. But now Fernando Laporta from Deportivo has come out saying that Inigo Martinez's recent physical problems and the appearance of Aymeric Laporte's name on the horizon has made Barcelona cool their interest in the Athletic Club center back. He is now a priority for Atletico Madrid. I believe Cope came out saying this a few days ago as well. So now the interest for Inigo Martinez is slowly but surely dropping away, and the surges, you could say the resurgence, we talked about Laporte last summer as well, is coming to fruition. I would say wait and see. Again, Man City are going through a big rebuild. They're going to have to sell players because Man City want new players coming in. They want Gavardio to come in, the Croatian center back or RB Leipzig to come in to replace Laporte. So they're going to bring a lot of new players in and bring out the fresh, the old blood, so to speak. So I think Laporte will be available this summer. But again, the question is on the price. Anything under 35 million euros, I wouldn't do it. No, I wouldn't even consider it, because you know what? When you have free agents like Ivan Indica, it's not worth it. Now, with Man City planning this big overhaul, we have been linked with numerous amount of current Man City players. Of course, Aymeric Laporte. Next up being Joao Cancelo, who is currently on loan from Man City at Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich do have an option to buy him this summer for 70 million euros. Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Joao Cancelo wants more minutes. Bayern have the option to buy him for 70 million euros and will decide about it this summer. If they don't buy him, Spanish clubs like Barcelona and Real Madrid will again have the chance to buy Cancelo. Again, for me, it's all about the price. If you're talking, Juan Foyth for 40 million, Pavard for 20 million, if Cancelo is 50, you can pay that in installments. If you could agree with Man City to pay that in installments, 25 this summer, 25 next summer, I'd be all over it. You're talking about, on his day, one of the best fullbacks in the world, can play both at right back and left back at the top level as well. Not just a great right back, but also a great left back as well. And if you could really convince City to get him on loan as well with a buy option, that'll be ridiculous as well. But again, I think right now for Joao Cancelo, it's a bit too early. The rumors are just only flagging about right now. I think once a decision comes in from Bayern Munich, they probably will not buy him. That's when I think Barcelona's can come back up again. But again, the club do prioritize Juan Foyth, Benjamin Pavard over Joao Cancelo at the moment, especially with the price. But if he's available, I think the club should be all over him. And the final Man City player that we have been linked with is a name that we're all very familiar with, and that is, of course, Bernardo Silva. Mateu and Marito from Relevo has come out saying that it is very likely that Bernardo Silva will leave Man City this summer. Now, Sport, of course, one of the main outlets in Catalonia in Barcelona, not too reliable. They have been non-stop talking every single day for the past, 6 or 7 days about Bernardo Silva. Oh, 65 million euros. Jorge Mendes was in Barcelona. They're going to do the deal. He's going to come in, compete with Pedri, can also play on the wings. Oh, it's going to happen. Personal terms agreed. Nowhere there. It's all just nothing but crap from Sport. Bernardo Silva, I 100% guarantee you, will be available this summer for a price. If last summer was 80, this year, one less year on his contract, he's a year older, I'm thinking 50, 60 is probably his evaluation. Would the club spend that on him when we have other priorities? I would rather spend 50 million euros on Cancelo than Bernardo Silva. I'll tell you that right now. Do I think Bernardo Silva is a fantastic player? Absolutely. Would I take him at Barcelona? Absolutely. But there's priorities that have to be straightened out. I think Bernardo Silva, the time to get him was last summer, if the price, of course, was agreed between Man City and Barcelona. I think now, personally, the ship has sailed, but you never know. In the Mercado, anything can happen. But all I'll say is keep your eyes on Bernardo Silva. He will be linked a lot with Barcelona. Keep your eyes on the price as well. And we'll see if other players like Joao Cancelo could be a better option for Barcelona. We probably maybe will be linked heavily with a Portuguese player from Man City. And hopefully we could maybe purchase one. But again, hopefully it's the right one. I personally would rather go for Joao Cancelo because I do think we need him more than Bernardo Silva. But again, there is that. Barcelona want that star player. They want someone to actually influence the game. They don't really, they'd rather get Juan Foyth for 20 million than Joao Cancelo for 50. Then they go for Bernardo Silva for 60. Shirt seller, all that sort of stuff. So we'll wait and see. Keep our eyes on Bernardo, but he has risen again on Barcelona's agenda list. Now, another midfielder who Barcelona are still keeping tabs on is Sofyan Amrabat. This is coming in from Franck Kessie from Sport. He's come out saying that Sofyan Amrabat is still on Barcelona's agenda for the summer transfer window, but it does depend on factors such as Busquets' future and the FFP situation. I think Ben Aid as well, who is very close to Sofyan Amrabat, said that Barcelona, still keeping tabs on him, are still interested in the player. I'd watch out for it again. I think again, Amrabat cannot come in unless Busquets decides to leave, because you have Inigo coming back from loan as well. Zubimendi is a priority. You may have to spend money on other departments as well. We are trying to force this Busquets renewal, so keep your eyes on him again. Not so much, I would say, as Bernardo Silva, because I think if the club have the money, they'll probably go for Bernardo Silva over Amrabat. Florentino probably going to sell him for around 20 million euros. They asked for 40 in January. I think this summer now, with the controversy in him staying, they might sell him for a fair/cut price, 25 million euros, something like that. So keep your eyes on Amrabat. He could be that cheap option for Barcelona in the pivot position. Now, along with the defense and the midfield, the club have also been linked with numerous attackers as well. First one somehow being Marco Asensio. Gerard Romero, number one source around Barcelona, has come out saying that Jorge Mendes has offered Marco Asensio to Barcelona. Barcelona like him for his versatility, and they will think about it. If we sign a freaking Madridista, I'm gonna shoot myself in the mouth. Look, we don't need him. Ferran Torres, Ansu Fati, Rafinha, Dembele, Abdi come back from loan. You still have Collado. I'll take all of them over Asensio. This for me makes no sense. If we do this, the controversy and backlash will be ridiculous. Laporte will only do this as a favor for Jorge Mendes, which for me makes no sense. Asensio can get game time at Sevilla, Villarreal, Arsenal, whatever. There's so many other clubs. Why are you going to come to Barcelona and be 5th or 6th choice? We can do that at Real Madrid. I don't think this will happen. I think this, business as usual. Club agent offering what he can to a club. I don't think Asensio will join Barcelona. But the fact that the club like him and they will think about it, I'm not a big fan of that. I would not sign Asensio whatsoever. He's giving me some bad days. Super Cup in 2018. I really don't want to see him in a Barcelona shirt. Will I back him? I mean, I guess, but I don't want a Madridista coming and playing for Barcelona. He played for Espanyol as well. I don't think it'll happen, but we'll wait and see. Asensio, though, has been offered to Barcelona to sign him as a free agent this summer. But an attacker who Barcelona are very keen on and are making great progression on his signing is the Brazilian wonder kid who has been called up to the first team for Brazil, Vitor Roque. This is coming in for Fabrizio Romano. He's come out saying that Vitor Roque is pushing to join Barcelona. He is dreaming of a move to Barcelona and wants it. Barcelona have had contact with his current club. The initial approach of 25-30 million euros isn't enough. The possible package will include variables. Now, since this report, Vitor Roque has done an interview with Sport, the outlet, of course, in Barcelona, saying that he wants to come to Barcelona. He feels that he's ready. He'll be like a Suarez 2.0, whatever the case may be. Now, Joaquin Pereira from Sport came out saying that Vitor Roque hopes that the negotiation between Barcelona and his current club will come to fruition in the coming weeks. And finally, we got the big bombshell from Juan Martí and Mateu Merito from Relevo. They come out saying that Barcelona and his current club are advancing in negotiation for Vitor Roque. The Brazilian club already admits within themselves that he will play for Barcelona next season. Barcelona want to go forward with the operation that will exceed 40 million euros with variables. Meanwhile, his current club have agreed to make some aspects of the transfer move flexible, such as lowering the fixed fee or accepting a loan with a purchase option in 2024. So essentially, Barcelona and the club have agreed on a price, but now they're trying to, fluctuate it, make it flexible, spread it all out. That way, the club can pay what that way Barcelona can pay what the club wants, and the club get the money that they want. And definitely will not be upfront. So a loan is an option now currently, and also you could have the fee paid in installments as well as the variables as well. But again, the agreement is getting very close for Vitor Roque to become a blaugrana this summer, and again in the coming weeks we should have big advancements. But a forward who you and I want Barcelona to sign this summer so badly is of course the return of the greatest human being to touch a football, Lionel Andres Messi. This is firstly coming in from Alfredo Martinez. He's come out saying that Leo Messi will neither join the MLS or Saudi club. No return to Argentina this summer. It is completely ruled out. He has decided to continue playing at the top level and stay in Europe, which only leaves the option of Barcelona or staying at PSG due to family reasons. Cancelo came out confirming this, and that Lionel Messi will stay in Europe and prepare for the 2024 Copa America, and also came out saying that Lionel Messi has officially rejected PSG's first contract renewal offer. They asked him to lower his salary, and he is not convinced by it. Now, Joan Laporta was doing a stream last night, and he was asked, do you think Messi wants to return to Barcelona? And he said, yes, it is an option. He wants to come back, definitely, but again, FFP, all this stuff is the main concern. And he was also talking about that for Messi to come back, both Busquets and Jordi Alba would have to stay for another year and also reduce their salaries as well. So a lot of complications, a lot of factors that have to play in for Messi to return to Barcelona. But right now, I can say full-heartedly and full of confidence that out of this current moment, this is right now the highest chance of Messi we've seen coming back to Barcelona. I think in the December, November time, it's probably like 5%, 10%. After the World Cup, probably went down quite a bit. We had all that PSG talk. Then when Germain came out with that bombshell end of January, probably back at 10%. Right now, I put it at 25%. I think there's a 25-30% chance that Messi does return to Barcelona this summer. I think this is the highest hopes we've had so far because the talks are being there. Laporta is mentioning him. Laporta even met with his father. That for me is big. There's no way he sat down with Messi's father and only talked about a tribute and congrats on the World Cup. Ain't no way. They talked about him returning, whether he wants to admit it or not. It's clear as day. And also Messi's father, when he left Barcelona that day, he was like, oh, the offer didn't make sense or blah. He's talking about offers, so it's definitely there. I think Messi's return is on the table, it is being studied and analyzed by Barcelona. The real question is, can they execute it? It is difficult. People will say it's damn near impossible, but the impossible sometimes is meant to happen. Now, the big question at the moment at Barcelona is it possible to sign players this summer, with FFP and then fair play margin, all that sort of stuff? We've had a big blow, and that is the president of La Liga, Javier Tebas, has come out verbally on some podcast saying this word for word, that Barcelona do not sign any players in January, did not sign any players in January because we did not allow them to. Now, of course, Joan Laporta said in the first interview that I did say in the beginning of the video, we had some margin to replace Memphis Depay, but we decided not to do it. Tebas saying that we didn't allow them to do it. He said that they will also not be able to sign players next summer as well unless they fix the financial situation, FFP, fair play margin first. So a lot of, two different point of views. You got one side saying this, one side saying that. But for me, the most important side I have to take in the scenario is Javier Tebas, because you know what? He has all the keys. He has the green lights. It's come to a point now where he's actually filed an appeal against Gavi's registration as a first team player to the commercial court. He is that adamant that Gavi should not be a first team player and should go back to number 30 because the club right now don't have any fair play margin and all this sort of stuff. He's that bitter, which of course makes it a big problem. Now, Fernando Polo from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona are already preparing for next season, pending the FFP scenario. The club must be prepared in case they will finally have the financial fair play margin to use. It is not ruled out that there will be a big exit, and we keep hearing about this big exit, and I have no idea what it's going to be. I think it's going to be Ferran Torres because he can generate a decent amount of revenue, 30, 40, maybe 50 million euros if some club is crazy to pay that. And of course, we want to, bring in Vitor Roque. This Messi may come back as well. So we need to, loosen up the attack. You have Abdi coming back as well. But I will keep your eyes on Jordi Alba because Gerard Miro won't stop talking about Jordi Alba. If Messi does not come back, Jordi Alba could leave the club. It's being talked about. It's very, very likely as well. So I don't know what classifies as a big sale. Are we earning like more than 40, 50? Because alongside Ferran, maybe Franck Kessie. I can't. It has to be an attacker because ain't no way the club are selling anyone in the defense. 100%. Midfield, maybe Franck Kessie, like I mentioned. Frenkie de Jong will not go. Neither Pedri or Gavi. It's all about the attack. So I'm thinking this big sale is either going to be the top three I would think of, but Jordi Alba wouldn't generate revenue. He would just clear. So my top three would probably be Jordi Alba, Ferran Torres, or Rafinha. I mean, if it's maybe Dembele, if he does not decide to renew his contract, but I think he will. It's all about the negotiations now at this point, but it's really, really crazy. We've been talking about this big sale now for months, and apparently the club have told La Liga in January that there will be a big sale this summer as well. We heard the reports from Mateu saying that clubs are being very, very attentive and very interested in Ferran Torres. So We'll wait and see, but again, it looks like very likely the club will need a big sale this summer in order to sign players as well, and also Javier Tebas does hold all the keys to allow Barcelona to give the green light to make some signings this summer. Let's now discuss the players who have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past few weeks. Let's now discuss the players who have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past week. First one is Samuel Umtiti, and this is coming in from Gazzetta dello Sport in Italy, and they've come out saying that both Inter and AC Milan are interested in signing Samuel Umtiti as long as he's joined them on a free transfer. By all means, if we can salvage some money from Umtiti, that would be huge. You know what, Big Sam is, doing very well at Lecce at the moment. I'm happy for him, but, it's clear as day he has no place at Barcelona. I think Sport came out like a few weeks ago saying that, Barcelona's center back options in Ivan Ndicka, Inigo Martinez, and Umtiti. And I'm like, there's no way Umtiti's coming back. Not because that, he can't come back, but because the fans have already accepted his exit. Like, what he's done, staying at the club. Yeah, he helped the club. He still was at Leeds. He stayed too long, and it's just, there's no point. There's really no point. I don't think it'll even make sense anymore, and ain't no way he'll get ahead of Christensen, Koundé, Araujo, or even Eric Garcia unless we have a massive, or Araujo, unless we get a massive injury crisis. But Umtiti, hopefully the club can find ways to get him off the books this summer. Now, a player who does have the possibilities of leaving the club this summer if a good offer arrives is, of course, Franck Kessie. Now, Alfredo Martinez from Sport came out saying that Tottenham Hotspur are very interested in signing Franck Kessie. Antonio Conte really likes him. A decision on Kessie's future will be made at the end of the season, but Xavi will have the final word. Now, right now it's reported that Antonio Conte will not be staying at Tottenham, so he'll be leaving this summer when his contract expires, so this report is already down in the water. Apparently Kessie wants to stay as well. Apparently Xavi really likes Kessie, so again, depends on what offer comes in. If we're getting, 30 million, 40 million, the club will, take it. It will not take it, we'll study it and analyze it. But keep your eyes on Franck Kessie. I think there is options for him to leave the club this summer. I would give him another season for sure. We can give Andre Gomes another season. We can give Franck Kessie another season. I think he's a good player. I think he's a great asset to the club as well. Very, decent option to have off the bench and also rotate in some games. He's played well over the past few weeks when he's had opportunities, so credit to him. But keep your eyes on his possible future this summer. He could end up leaving if, of course, an offer that's very suitable arrives. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. Firstly, and the only update we do have is the big one, the contract renewal update on Sergio Busquets. Firstly, coming in from Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo, he's come out saying that all parties admit the negotiations to extend Busquets' contract will be very complicated. Barcelona's agents are expected to meet next week. Barcelona will offer him a very low salary, less than half of his current salary, and everyone wants to find a solution soon. Barcelona to plan for next season, and Busquets to find a destination. Now, Juan Martin came out, confirmed this from Relevo as well, saying that Busquets has been told by Barcelona that they want him to stay for another year. His pay would be 3 times less if he renewed compared to what he is currently earning. Now, Candacer have come out saying that Busquets expects a renewal offer from Barcelona at some point this week. His environment believes that there will be an offer. The offer that will come in will be far from their expectation and also difficult to accept. So Busquets currently earns, I think, around 200,000 euros per week, maybe even a quarter of a million, 250. The club are going to offer him a renewal, but with money 3 times less than what he's currently earning. So you're talking Sergio Roberto, Barcelona B salaries. It's looking more and more likely, even according to Relevo, that the continuation of Busquets is becoming more and more unlikely every single passing day. I wouldn't say it's at that point at the moment. I think the renewal offer will be big. I think if Busquets is just rejected, then I think it's done. I don't think the club will offer him any more money. They may offer him a bit more money, but, stagnated over the next few years. I think it's 50-50 still. I said that in the last video. I'll say it again. I see it as a 50-50 for Busquets. I think if Messi does come back, or Laporte says to me, hey, Messi is, we're going to get him back for sure. I think Busquets will then sacrifice some money and stay, but if Messi's not going to come back, it won't give Busquets that extra initiative. He's being offered, 300,000, 400,000, talking double what he currently earns from the MLS in Saudi Arabia. That's money that he'll never see again. Either he takes it this summer or never. But I think with Barcelona, Xavi pushing for him to stay, he might do it for the love of the club. Well, I know he loves the club, but that sounded a bit wrong, but you know what I mean. Anyways, we'll wait and see with Busquets. I think it's very interesting. I think it's very difficult to call. I still sit at it as a 50-50, but I think his decision will be coming by at least the end of this month. Now, one midfielder who's no doubt going to be staying at the club is, of course, Frenkie de Jong, who's now become a cornerstone for Barcelona's future project, especially in the midfield. Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Frenkie de Jong still wants to stay at Barcelona. There is still no change in the situation. And Juan Martin came out saying that Frenkie de Jong has become more influential and is considered a top 5 player in the team. Everyone at the club agrees. Also, Frenkie is much happier with the new atmosphere in the dressing room. Still, you see reports from, United every single week, Samuel Lockhurst or whoever, Laurie Whitwell, they're all saying, oh, Ten Hag wants Frenkie, the number 1 target. Even if the Qatar owner comes in, the club will not. I don't think Frenkie de Jong is untouchable like Araujo, Koundé, Ansu Fati, you could say at the moment, Pedri, Xavi. Clubs can offer 200 million, I think the club will reject it. If someone offers 120 for Frenkie, I think the club will say, call a meeting, let's get everyone in here. That's how I think Frenkie de Jong is right now. Will we sell him for 100 million, 75 million like we were talking about last summer? God no. But an offer comes in, the club will consider it, I think, in my opinion. But right now, the club plan for the future with Frenkie de Jong, very, very happy with him. The player's happy as well. And I don't see him leaving this summer unless an extreme circumstances arises. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past week or so. One of the biggest news, I think, in my opinion, has been Mateu Alemany was offered the sporting director role at Aston Villa, where he will receive double his current salary at Barcelona, but he has since rejected that offer, and he confirmed this for the pre-game, I think, over the past weekend's match, saying that I will continue at Barcelona. And the reports that come out beforehand that he did reject the offer from Aston Villa, but that has put Barcelona on high alert. Sport have come out saying that President Joan Laporta would like to tie Mateu Alemany up for one more season until 2025. His future will be discussed, analyzed, and assessed after the current summer transfer window. This man has worked absolute miracles at Barcelona. I would want nothing less than for him to continue at the club. I think he will end up continuing. If he's offered double money at Aston Villa, didn't take it. For him, it's not about the money. It's about the project. It's about what is going to be achieved. I think we win the domestic treble again. It will just boost his confidence as well. Then we'll keep going and keep going. Hopefully, Alemany stays. Don Alemany has been absolutely fantastic over the past 2 or 3 summer transfer windows, and hopefully he'll be excellent for many more summer transfer windows to come. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is give you guys some injury updates starting the first team at Barcelona. Of course, meaning being around the 3 injured players right now: Ousmane Dembele, Pedri, and Robert Lewandowski. First injury update on Ousmane Dembele. These are all coming in, by the way, from Javier Miguel from AES. Of course, the injury man, one of the best sources in Barcelona, and very close to Xavi as well. He's come out saying that Ousmane Dembele's participation in the Clásico is currently uncertain. Barcelona want to act with total caution. He will test himself in the group training next week, but if he does return in the Clásico, he will definitely not start the match. Hopefully he'll be fully fit, ready to go after the international break. I hope he does not get called off for France, and if he does, I hope he pulls out. I don't want to see him go on international duty. I want him to be 100%, 1000% ready to go after the international break. We got the Copa del Rey, pushing for the league. I think everyone already knew that he wasn't going to start the Clásico, but if he's on the bench, that could provide that X factor and a big impact off the bench. But most likely we will not see Ousmane Dembele until after the international break. Next update is on Pedri Potter. Javier Miguel came out saying that Pedri will join the group training session this week, and if all the sensations are all good, he will be included in the squad list for the Athletic Club match, where he could even play a few minutes, but he is expected to start the match in the Clásico in the league on the 19th. Absolutely fantastic news. Pedri Independencia, we all know that, and we do need him. Finally, the big one, Robert Lewandowski. Javier Miguel has come out saying that Robert Lewandowski will be back for the match against Athletic Club. He has fully recovered from his hamstring strain. So Lewandowski should be back, ready to go, should be able to start as well, which I think is a big bonus. Pedri should be fit, ready to go for the Clásico. He could even make an appearance this weekend. But Dembele, very, very unlikely we'll see him at any single point. Finally, not really an injury update. Just want to give you guys an update on Araujo's red card. It has been confirmed that he will be suspended for only one match this weekend against Athletic Club. Araujo cannot play, but in the Clásico, he'll be fully fit, fully rested, ready to go. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past week or so. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing I want to know firstly, of course, is on the return of Lionel Messi. You think it'll happen or not? Secondly, on that Man City duo, who would you rather sign? Bernardo Silva, Aymeric Laporte, Joao Cancelo? How much? What would you prioritize? Thirdly, on Busquets' renewal, do you think it'll end up happening or not? And finally, your thoughts on this feud between La Liga and Barcelona. Of course, the Super League being in effect as well. Javier Tebas, FFP, fair play margin, how do you think it will all play out? And do you think Javier Tebas does control everything around Barcelona's transfer activity? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.
Yeah.